So here is your starting grid for the final Micromax heat, groups A and B, here at the Grand Festival at Karting. On pole position, it will be Ryan Rivers that starts on the inside of the front row, with Says Moyes alongside Jack Freeman and Henry Murring. Round out row 2 with Jensen Chalk and Harry Taylor on row 3. Max Moore and Jeff Verbeek on row 4, with Andreas Jerrup and Kimi May completing the top 10. Theo Steindal and Tave Niskanen, that is row 6. Row 7, Julian Duma and Maria the Missile Roberto, running that out. Jokubas Vaskelis and Stavros Sotos Francia completes row 8. Jonathan Otterson and George Lobkis, row 9. Daniel Ferguson, Dimitar Lazarov, Leon Herboz and Oliver Hochreiter round out the top, well, the 22 strong on this grid. So again, it will be 7 minutes plus an additional lap of this race. And then whoever is on the ranking after the heats, we have got 32 Micromax drivers. So there'll be one superheat tomorrow. So whoever is the leader in the ranking after the heats, because the first superheat gets underway at 10 past 10 tomorrow morning, and we have 9 of them, which will take us up to the lunch break. We'll also be having an extended lunch break here at the Home of Champions, but for very, very good reason. So the drivers make their way slowly at snail's pace through turn number 10 of this 1,360 metre 12-turn circuit. Now the drivers make their way through the 12th and final corner. The red lights are on the gantry. Out of the final corner, revs rise, noise increases, red lights are on. They are out. We're underway for the final time for Micromax on heat number 3 as they make their way into turns 1 and 2 for the opening tour. Ryan Rivers leads the way. Jack Freeman in second. Jensen Chalk now up from 5th to 3rd place. Says Moyes now looking for the move up the inside of Jensen Chalk into turn 6. The number 34 unable to facilitate that as the drivers make their way down the Europalan for the first time. Drivers trying to attempt overtakes and sometimes being successful, others not being successful. But at least if they say if at first you don't succeed, try again. Jensen Chalk trying to get through on the number 93 from Dan Holland Racing, this year's Minimax rookie champion in the B&L Karting Series, Jack Freeman. As the drivers make their way out of the final corner to complete lap number 1. It's Rivers that leads the way. Freeman has got Chalk to his immediate right-hand side as they go through. Chalk is through for second. Then we've got Says Moyes behind Jack Freeman and Andreas Jerrup from Denmark. Theo Steindal from Norway is in 6th ahead of Henry Murring from Germany. Max Moore, Julian Duma and Harry Taylor complete the top 10. They were covered by 2.3 seconds. Jensen Chalk now looking for the lead up the inside of Ryan Rivers, and Jack Freeman looks to get through as well. And Rivers has lost 4 positions on the bounce. Oh, it was Jensen Chalk that opened the floodgates, flung it up the inside of Ryan Rivers. And then it was Freeman, it was Moyes, it was Jerrup. They all went through. Steindal now through. Mooring's just lost places. And I think Harry Taylor was one of the drivers that got through on him. Yes, it was. And Ryan Rivers finds himself behind Theo Steindal from Norway. Just under 5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap in this last Micromax heat. Jensen Chalk now has a lead over Jack Freeman to the tune of about 4 and a bit tenths of a second. But Freeman has got to watch his back bumper because Says Moyes is closing in the number 34 on the Birrell ART. Henry Merring trying to go toe-to-toe with, I think, Jokubas Vaskelis heading into turn 7. And the German gets through on the Lithuanian down the backstretch. Another change of position. That's Julian Dummer through on Ryan Rivers. That is a change for what is now 6th on the road. Ryan Rivers is having to fight all the way through today. And especially when his weekend in terms of time qualifying didn't get off to the best of starts. He got collected by another kart that had spun going through turn 7. Says Moyes closing in on both Freeman and Chalk. The top 3 were covered by 6 tenths after what was lap number 3. We are halfway through this race, so 3.5 minutes still to go, plus an additional lap as Theo Steindal looking up the inside of Andreas Jerrup. Freeman still holding on to 2nd place in front of Says Moyes. So Jokubas Vaskelis drops down to 10th. Julian Dummer now up to 6th. Harry Taylor now up into 9th. Other changes. George Lobkis past Maria Roberto. Stavros Sotos Francia from Germany ahead of Tave Niskanen for what is 17th. And Leon Hobos past Jonathan Otterson from Denmark for 19th place. Gap between the top 3, half a second. And Harry Taylor now gets up into 6th place and has the opportunity to close the gap between himself and Theo Steindal, which is now around 1.4 seconds. But Harry Taylor more than capable of being able to chase them down. And Andreas Jerrup has lost out to Theo Steindal. So Steindal now up into 4th place. And trying to close in on the 3 in front, but there's going to be a gap of around about 1.4, 1.5 seconds between 3rd and 4th position. 2 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. And still the top 3 cannot be pretty much separated. Bethany still cheering on DHR. Of course, Bethany, the elder sister of Jack Freeman, who is closing in on Jensen Chalk. That gap was 0.287 of a second. It's now 0.169. Freeman is starting to get closer and closer, and he's put in the fastest lap of the race. And he was only 3/1000ths quicker than the driver in behind him, Says Moyes. 1 minute 2.265 for Jack Freeman. 1 minute 2.268 for the 34 representing the Netherlands. And there through goes Jack Freeman on Jensen Chalk at turn 6 to take the lead, but there's going to be a little bit of a rub between the pair of so briefly heading into turn 7, and Freeman makes good his intention. Sees Moyes trying to get the crisscross and attempts and does so through out of turn 8 on Jensen Chalk, who now drops to P3. A minute still to go, plus an additional lap. Let's not forget, folks, that it ain't over until the checkered flag waves, and Jack Freeman now has a bit more daylight at the end of the tunnel. The gap between him and Jensen Chalk after lap 5 was just under 0.17 of a second. This is going to be a significant pendulum swing in his favour, and the lead now is 0.6. That's nearly an 0.8 of a second pendulum swing in favour of Jack Freeman, and Jensen Chalk now finds himself in 3rd place. And with 28 seconds on the timer remaining, there'll be one more lap after this. You can bet your bottom dollar that Jensen Chalk has got to bring out his magic wand to try and do something, but it's going to be to no avail. Andreas Jerrup still battling away with Theo Steindal. They've swapped places, so the Dane now up into 4th place, the Norwegian down to 5th. Timer has now expired. Theo Steindal closes in and gets through at turn 9. So, last lap board will be out this time. And out of the final corner, it is going to be Jack Freeman that will bring them round to complete another 1,360 metres. Jensen Chalk is under fire right now. He's got a battle on his hands to hold on to P3 as Jack Freeman takes us on to the final lap. And now Bethany's starting to really become a bit more vocal whilst typing. Well done, Bethany. But Jensen Chalk is really starting to feel the pressure underneath it all. And Theo Steindal now gets through and takes third position away from Jensen Chalk. But our race leader now making his way through into turn 7. Theo Steindal makes a bit of a mistake off of the Europlan and hands back. Oh, that was a moment there for Jensen Chalk, who was sideways coming through out of turn number 8. Steindal went deep into turn 7. Chalk went back through and retook third. But our race leader, Jack Freeman, the number 93 with Dan Holland Racing, makes his way through out of turn number 10. And the brollies are up. We've got a slippery surface flag out. And this race is going to end at the perfect time because out of the final corner, it's going to be a win at the Micromax Grand Festival for Jack Freeman. He's done it, and so is Seis Moyes. They celebrate, and well done to Andreas Jellerup. The weather has changed at the moment, right towards the end of the day. But Jack Freeman and Seis Moyes, there we go. That's sportsmanship. I like that about Micromax. I still remember, I think it was Mikael Kumas, funnily enough, who one particular year, 2022, went over, no, or it might have been Mikael Kumas or somebody else that went over to every single one of the Micromax grid on the final on the Sunday and fist bumped everybody. That is perfect sportsmanship. So Jack Freeman wins the final heat for Micromax for the Grand Festival. Seis Moyes in second. Andreas Jellerup rounding out the top 3. Jensen Chalk in 4th. Theo Steindal in 5th, ahead of Henry Möhring, Harry Taylor, Gillian Dummer, Ryan Rivers, and Jokubas Vasquez completing the top 10. Jeff Verbeek, George Lopkis, Kimi May, Maria Roberto, Stavros Sotos Francia from Germany rounds out the top 15. Dimitar Lazarov, Tafe Niskanen, Jonathan Otterson, Leon Herbols, Max Moore, Daniel Ferguson, and Oliver Hochreuter round out the 22-strong grid. But, well, that's a way to end your day. Despite it getting a bit slippery out there, Jack Freeman does the business and takes the win, and you can look at the celebration in that young man's face.